You need another one of those? What is the reason why you need this water to do this? Is it so that the frog has a place to be?
So the frog is safe. You know, I've never injured a frog or anything.
I'm sure he feels very comfortable knowing that. Here he goes. Oh, Jesus. Did he hop right out?
Yeah.
He's like, I know what the fuck is happening here. Oh, hey, buddy.
Hold on. Let me just... Okay. So hold on.
Okay.
I just usually like to give him a little...
Get him a little bath?
Oh, yeah. A little bit. Good.
Okay.
So this is basically the technique. And I've put up to 10 frogs inside. So he come...
Need more?
And now we could hang and talk for, you know, as long as...
So how long does he stay in there? What's the longest you've kept him in there and they live?
Like 3 hours or so.
And none of... Wow. That's pretty... How do you have to pee right now on a 1 to 10? Anytime anybody thinks about needing to pee, I'm going to show them this video.
It's the 10th one.
10th water. And what are they, 8 ounces?
16.
16?
It's more than a gallon of water.
Yeah.
Now, here's the magical part. It's like, I should
Right.
mouth empty. Then I have to, like, get him to swim up to the...
How do you do that?
I don't know. I just, like, did it and had fluoroscopies and looked where they were and then saw that and then figured out how to sort... I did sword swamp to, like...
Do you feel them moving around inside you?
When there's a lot.
When there's 10? Jamie, your face. Here he comes.
No, I got...
No?
First, I like to get a little bit of...
You forcing him out now? Can't talk.
I'll have to just get some more water.
When was the first time you did this one?
I worked on it. I started like 3 or 4 ago, and it's been a, you know, it's
The
a
first time
crazy-
you put frog in your
I
mouth
got
and swallowed.
salmonella and swallowed the first time. I just wanted to get, yeah, and then I got it again after I tried it the second time, and then I built up a resistance to salmonella. Now I
Oh,
don't think hold, let me,
that's good if you like sushi,
mouth empty.
right? Here he comes. This is so bizarre. Here it comes.
It's because I drank so much, so it's like I have to like locate them.
You have to lay down.
Kind of.
The sounds. What would you call this, Jamie? ASMR? This is so strange. So for people that are just listening, I highly recommend you go to the video.
You're gonna have to condense. It's
No,
too
no, no,
great.
no, no, no. We're gonna keep this up exactly the way it is. People need to see. Oh.
Take out like a liter of water.
My God. This is so strange. Oh, he's piggy.
It's called the water spout. That's how I usually put out the fire.
Oh my God.
Hold on.
The frog is probably like, what the fuck? I do deserve this. I bet that frog was just like an asshole person in another life. That's a lot of
water.
Do we need another bucket?
Maybe.
Go get that plastic bucket in the back. I don't know if that's good enough, but for now, we'll just use that for now. It is quite preposterous to watch the amount of water coming out of you.
Oh, let's just get a little better.
Where's he at right? Boy.
Who's there?
You got him in there? Put him in my hands? Okay. There he is. Oh, boy.
Here.
Little fella.
Just watch.
Oh, you've had a rough life. You've had a road. You've had a road, buddy.
So that's the frog trick.
He's alive.
And perfect, too.
Yeah, he seems fine.
Oh, don't.
Whatever it is, the DMT or the mushrooms or whatever it is,
Yeah.
to take a hold of you and take you on a journey. Then those journeys are generally positive.
It was extremely negative.
Yeah. I wonder what
But
it is.
afterwards, it was great. Like,
Yeah.
I woke up the next day like, bro, I got to change a lot of things.
Right.
Uh,
So that's the thing about negative ones. Not really negative. They're just
no, it's just
they're
hard while you're in
It's
it.
just a hard lesson.
Yeah.
It's a hard lesson. I think when people struggle with psychedelic experiences, or if people have legitimate mental illnesses that do psychedelics, that's never a good idea. You know,
Yeah.
people that are like hanging on by a thread already and they eat 7 bags of mushrooms. Like,
Bro, I was staring at people. Like, during we were outside by a campfire, and I'd be like staring at someone, and they'd be like, "What are you looking at?" I'd be like, because their face would change. They'd have like 3 heads. I'd be like, "Dude, are you okay?"
so that makes me. What is that?
You know what's weird? We all kind of see the same things.
That's a problem.
It's like, you ever have sleep paralysis?
No, I haven't.
I had sleep paralysis one night, and it was at the foot of my bed. Have you've heard of sleep paralysis?
Yeah,
right?
yeah, for sure.
Foot of my bed, there's a long, spindly, shadowy figure just standing there, and it was fully real. It was real, and it walked along the side of my bed, like reaching its hand out at my face. And I woke up, tried to fight it. I thought it was so real that I thought it was like an intruder. You know what I mean? There was no part of me that was like, this is a demon.
I wonder what.
Months later, I found out about sleep paralysis. I had never heard of it. Googled it, and there was a image of exactly what I dreamed on the internet. Like, I saw it.
Whoa.
And I was like, it gave me fucking chills.
Like
I was
it's
like, holy
coming.
and everybody sees the same thing. It's crazy.
But what I'm saying, what if
And
it's real?
that's the mushrooms thing with like the ego death or whatever the people, all those dumb fucking hippies want to call it. I did experience it, even though I'm
Yeah.
like, these fucking dumb hippies. I literally experienced an ego death.
One of the weirdest experiences I've had is with 5-MeO DMT, which is a different kind of dimethyltryptamine. I think it has like a different molecule attached to it or something. And there's no visuals. With regular DMT, it's like these wild fractal psychedelic,
Looks like a video game.
or luminous, and then you have entities that are communicating with you and these wild things. In the
I'm sorry to cut you off. The entities saying, like,
I had a bunch of jokes the last time I did it. Give me the finger. They were all gestures, like with the bells.
Really?
And yeah. And they're like this.
Oh no!
It made me realize instantly, because my first thought was like, "Hey, fuck you!
Hey, fuck you guys!"
My first instinct, like it was all laid out in front of me. They were saying you take yourself too seriously.
Really?
Yeah, and I was like, "Oh, you're right."
Damn! I wish everybody got to see you get that high.
was-
Get that high and be like, "Hey."
Listen, because it's true, and it changed the way. I mean, this was just a few years ago. The last time I did it, I think it was 2.5-ish, 3-ish years ago. And I still think of that as like that made me a markedly more relaxed person from that moment on. Like the way because I was realizing like there's this tension when you're worried about what people think about you, and there's like a thing if you take yourself too seriously, you don't want people to talk about you a certain way. And whatever it was, I'm doing this experience, and I'm also I'm in the DMT world, and there's these guys going like this, fuck you. And I'm like, what? And then I'm like, oh, and I go like this, like, oh, I get it. Like it was instantly apparent. Like I knew I had because you're managing a certain level of fame, and sometimes your ego gets in the way, or that your perceptions are off, and you're not willing to readjust, whatever it was.
Yeah.
But these gestures giving me the finger, I realized exactly what it was about. You take yourself too seriously. I go, oh, and then I had to examine it really briefly. I'm like, you're right, and they all started nodding like that. Wow. And they went away. And then they went away, and then it became this beautiful journey. But it was an opportunity for me to have a bad trip, because not terrible. It wasn't like demonic shit I was seeing. I was just seeing, fuck you, give me the finger. I was like, oh my God, there's so many of you. It was like fractal. There was like like who knows how many. Like there's no way I could count them. But there was a massive number of jesters giving me the finger, and it let me know like that shouldn't bother you at all. Like that shouldn't bother you. You should embrace that. You have two ways to look at that. You could look at that and you could be bothered by it, and you could look at that and think that's hilarious. Yeah. If it's true. The only reason why you'd be bothered by it is you're connected to your own self-image, and you're connected to this idea that you want to project out to all the other people. And the jesters were right. I was like, you're right. It's a great lesson.
It is.
They're right. Like if this was like on a spaceship, you would think it would be like that. Look at that. If that was on a spaceship, etched into the side of the spaceship, you'd be like, holy shit, it's a fucking alien language. I don't know what any of those things are. I don't know what one of those numbers is. I don't know what the fuck those words are, those letters. That's an alien language. That's, to me, almost more alien than a lot of Asian languages. That looks crazy.
Well, that's a reason to kind of doubt that somebody's translating it right. You know, like it's just like, oh, you looked at that gibberish and you saw that.
Well, scars. You know, the whole thing with that is that these ancient languages, like all these stories came from these ancient languages. Like if you go way, way, way back to like ancient Sumer, like the Epic of Gilgamesh, there's all these Noah's Ark similarities. It's all There's a lot of stuff in all these ancient stories. It's all probably points to some real shit that happened.
For sure.
But along the way, just like what you're talking about with social justice warriors and how they behave like it's a religion, there's like a natural compulsion for people to be on a group and have that group have a very clear ideology.
People have to work their way up to atheism if they want. It's like almost a luxury, I think.
Yeah, I think you're right.
And I don't know how to just... but I'll tell you what, I will say, the DMT shit, I did get like more of a... oh yeah, there's more than this.
There's something else there.
And it's crazy because I read about that shit in high school. I read some article about that guy that is the big DMT guy,
Terrence McKenna.
Yeah, because I think he projects a lot of his own horseshit into it. But that stuff
that McKenna's or the
McKenna just let me tell you, when I never felt a thing that felt so much like not making me hallucinate, but like it was taking away a hallucination.
Yes.
And that is there's something so terrifying about that, but it's also like, wow, that's great. Like, and you feel like there has to be, just based on the shit you would see, even if it's just shit in your head. You're like, why would that even be in my head?
It's entirely possible that whatever the fuck consciousness is can pass from this stage into another stage. And the only reason why I would hesitate to say that's exactly what happens is because there's no proof one way or another. But it's
all that pineal gland shot proven. They don't know that DMT comes.
I can't handle anymore.
They do now.
Really?
The Cottonwood Research Foundation. They did a series of tests with rats, and they proved that live rats have DMT produced by the pineal gland.
Really?
Now, it doesn't necessarily mean that humans do too, but they're pretty sure they do.
Did you like?
They also know that your lungs produce it and your liver produces it. That's a fact.
Really?
So your body's producing DMT, 100%.
Did you know? Or did you like those H.P. Lovecraft kind of horror stories?
Oh, I love those things.
And there's a movie made out of one of them. It's all about his pineal gland. He's taking something that makes his pineal gland swell up.
Which one?
The guy from Reanimator. But it's not Reanimator.
I'm feeling it now. I kind of remember what you're talking
But
about.
I'll tell you the thing is DMT is a creep. I still don't think creepy because it's totally worth doing. But the thing that's, whatever people say they meet entities, right? But I don't know if that shit is meeting entity. But I'll tell you the thing that just sticks with me that I'm like, when the fuck is that possible? Is the shapes that I could see, where I was well aware that they were a bit more than 3-dimensional shapes, and it's so crazy to look at that and perceive it. And I'm like, how on earth could I perceive this shape? And when I can't, and you can't come back with it, like, you know what I mean?
Well, you know
like
how you see in someone's art? Like, have you ever seen Alex Gray's art?
Yeah,
you see
it's
it?
awesome.
No.
You haven't seen it?
No, what is that?
Pull up Alex Gray. He's a psychedelic artist. I mean, all of his stuff is basically tryptamine-based art.
And is it going to not be horseshit? Because sometimes they're horseshit.
No. He's brilliant. His stuff's
because
fucking.
That is something. If
his stuff's fucking amazing.
That's for Tool.
That thing.
It's for Tool.
Yeah, but that's one of them. But he draws the covers for albums. There's a ton of them, like that one. That one in specific. That is DMT.
That's very DMT.
That is DMT.
Wow, that is hardcore DMT.
Hardcore DMT. When you do DMT, you see that. And you see that in a way where it's so much more spectacular than anything you ever see under normal consciousness.
Is your body like? Are you
it's
like?
It's not a body thing. Thinking of
but
your eyes are closed.
I mean, I'm myself.
Yeah,
you look around.
Dude, if you open your eyes,
vulnerable.
here's crazy because if you close your eyes, it's like they're open somewhere else. And then when you open your eyes, you see reality overlaid over this.
Tell me this one didn't influence the Egyptians. Click on the one your cursor's on.
No,
tell me that didn't influence the Egyptians.
Painting or the
no, these kind of tryptamine
well, did they have that?
Images.
Did they have DMT?
100%. Yeah, there was one of the things that John Anthony West did was he was going over the temple in Man.
Yeah,
the Tin Man is one of the structures. It's in Egypt. Mm-hmm. And it shows different parts of it are supposed to represent different corridors of the body, like different chakras of the body. Uh-huh. And that there was some evidence that the eye of Horus is really the pineal gland.
Oh, really?
And that's what that symbol is. Like, see if Google pineal gland eye of Horus. They think that they're so similar in the way they're shaped. It's entirely possible that that's what it's a very alternative thing. But look how it looks, how the thing looks on the actual pineal gland, and look at the eye on the left.
Whoa.
Yeah. See that wing off the side and the way it drops down right from the eyeball? Boy, that's fucking similar. Entirely possible that they figured out somewhere along the line that through yogic breathing methods, some sort of psychedelic drugs, they found that they were in a hallucinogenic state. And they were able to somehow or another isolate where that state is being initiated. And if it's being initiated endogenously by your body, like through psychedelic breathing, that's probably where it's being produced.
Now, listen, I don't want to sound like an Amy Schumer defender, but that looked coincidental to me.
Yeah, it could be.
Parallel thought.
It could be.
I think certain patterns repeat
close.
over and over.
But that pattern is pretty fucking close. You might be right, it might be coincidental, but the fact that a straight line drops down right before the eye showed again, the straight line drops down right below the eye.
But they didn't
and
know
then
what
the
the
other
fucking
thing hooks
brain
to the
did
left.
in Egypt. That's the thing.
They did surgery on people in Egypt.
Yeah, but
look at the thing on the right.
First of all, I thought Egypt thought the mind was in the heart, and that's why they pulled the useless brain out through the nose when they mummified you. Like you're
how do
telling
we know
me,
they're hint? You know what I mean? Like
because embalming techniques.
Well, yeah, but that doesn't mean they didn't.
No, they didn't. Look.
Well, I'm
look
sure they know everything about the human body the way
that's
people
what I'm
know
saying.
today.
Why would they attach against to something in the brain if they don't think that's
because through psychedelic drugs. I think when they were doing these heavy psychedelic drugs, which by the way were absolutely being used by then by tons of cultures.
Well, that I could believe. But
tons
that I
of
could
cultures.
believe. Listen, because the thing where that really blew my mind because I was looking.
You don't want to even believe rumors. That's what's going on again.
No, I look. Do you ever look at somebody while you're on DMT?
No, I've always kept my eyes closed.
Okay, well, I did that 2 times. Close my eyes, and 1 time open my eyes and look at somebody, and they had 6 arms like a Hindu.
Yeah, somebody else
and
just
telling you this at the comedy store.
You told me at the green room.
What is
your
time perception gets broken down, and that's the craziness. And so then motion looks like sick, it looked like a Hindu thing, and I'm like, wow. I imagine being on that stuff, and you see something. I mean, that looked to me so much like a vision from DMT. Those 6-arm kind of gods.
Well, dude, I collect that kind of art, Buddhas and shit like that, like this kind of shit, because I saw this. I saw this image, this exact image. I mean, this has a third eye and everything. A sculptor made this for me. I don't remember homeboy's name. Yeah, I wish I could remember it right now, but I don't. But yeah, Sculptor made that for me based on this vision that I had high on DMT. I saw an infinite number of those.
Really?
I saw one hovering here, and then in every direction out from him, there was an infinite number of those, and they were all hovering and vibrating around me.
So it's like
Wow.
is it like fractal?
Oh, it's 100% fractal.
What do you
it's
think-
geometric.
What do you think? What do you think? Having done it, like, what do you think? Like, what do you think now of DMT after? You know, I think I saw just a couple things, but I don't know how long ago they were of you talking about it with people. But what's your opinion of it now? As like, you know, what you're seeing.
Well, it could be anything. I mean,
Yeah.
it definitely could be some sort of an insane hijacking of your sensory nervous system, and
Right.
it produces this spectacular psychedelic effect that's so profound, this hallucinogenic effect that's so profound that it literally is like a transcendent experience and changes your life. It's
It
totally
felt like
possible.
that to me.
It's totally possible that it's just a chemical thing. What's also
But that
possible,
also-
what's also
yeah.
possible is that life itself, that whatever
Yeah.
the fuck life is, and especially whatever the fuck intelligent life is not understood. What consciousness is not understood. And this idea that things can only exist in this realm, that's not proven. Also the fact that when those quantum physicist guys start breaking down the nature of reality and they come up with, I don't know how the fuck they do this, I'm just talking out of my ass, but they come up with the idea that there's 11 dimensions.
Right.
And that they literally, I mean, and this is all changing and constantly evolving and moving, and they're constantly adding to this. It is entirely possible that there's a bunch of other shit that's around us all the time that's just not here, and we
Yeah,
don't
of
have
course.
access to it. And when you do DMT, whomp, you go into that other place.
That's
it's
what's
entirely
so fucking
possible.
unsettling. It's like, it's not like you're going. It's like the shit's here.
Well,
And-
that's why you, as
Yeah.
a skeptic, it's very important to hear from you. Like a guy
Oh,
like
it felt,
you.
yeah. I'll tell you what. I drew a shitty diagram of it, but this is what I felt. This is what it feels like if you ever do it. Like this little point. Let's say this little point is you. This is what I
Right.
felt like. And these lines I drew, that's like space, and you're this little point that gets stabbed into space time, and all this shit. This is all the shit that makes you. Like it forms a point. It's like closing your eyes and looking at all of this shit
all
that's
the
being
things.
Cross section of your
Yeah.
being.
like thing being focused into making. If you could like just reverse look at it,
Dude,
it feels
I always,
like that.
I
So
always
it's-
feel like it's lessons. I always feel like it's lessons. I always feel
Yeah,
like it's
right.
time to go to school. Sit down. Here's what's going on. One of the last ones, more profound ones, was a bunch of jesters that were all giving me the finger.
Really?
They were all circling around me like, give me the finger.
They're like, who
fuck
named you?
That
the
was
jerk
Twitter.
police?
No, you know
trying
what?
to teach you
it's-
about Twitter.
It's teaching if you're tense, and if
60
you're
Jeselniks,
reacting
all.
negatively to this
Right.
jester giving you the finger, like how do you feel of yourself? Are you in a constant defensive mode? And then when I sort
Right.
of relaxed myself, they started wagging their finger back and forth, like, "Yep, that's it, that's
Wow,
it."
that's
It was
cool.
very, very strange. These things that you see but you can't define are constantly changing. So if you try to like say,
Right.
"Oh, it looked like a jester," it probably did for a few seconds. For a
Right.
few seconds, it looked like a jester, and then it imploded and became stars, and then it sucked in and became geometric patterns, and then became neon-colored worms that were making love to each other in a giant infinite bundle of yarn. Like, it becomes weirder and weirder shit all the time.
Is it hard to remember when you're done?
Yes, it's almost impossible. Even me saying
I
I'm kind of full
remember,
of shit.
it's
Like,
having
I'm
done
kind
it
of full of
now.
shit because I don't totally remember what I saw. I remember what I remember to write down. I remember what I repeated. So I'm like going back on like my repeated versions of what I saw. But I remember like flashes of the intense, profound nature of the experience.
Is there emotions
Flashes
to
of
it? Like it's
Fuck yes.
unraveled.
Dude, out of it the first time, I did this on New Year's. The first time I did it, and I fucking, I guess I was like weeping. But when I came out of it, because you just suddenly are awake, and I had like, but I was so out of it, it was like not. I went from weeping to like, oh hey, what's up, like. And because I had been staring at some crazy thing that would like look so beautiful to me, but it was like that. It was like coming out of a dream, I guess,
Yeah.
almost.
What's
Yeah.
that McKenna quote that I think what I'd be scared of is unearned wisdom? I think McKenna said something like be wary of unearned wisdom, where I don't know if I can handle looking at something that intense.
I was really in a low feeling state when I did it, and I didn't give a fuck, so I had to do it.
You pick up, you know, that unearned wisdom thing. I think I know what he's saying, and I think there's a real problem with people acting profound when they just learned something an hour ago.
Are you saying I'm a shaman?
No, but
I'm a
there's,
qualified shaman
there's
now?
a thing that people enjoy doing, and it's like jizzing out their knowledge.
Yeah.
You know? And
Thought jizz?
and a lot of that is unearned knowledge. Like, there's a lot of people that don't really have a full, including me. I've
My
done it many
mind
times.
balls are so full.
Not a full understanding of the topic.
Life
and you
jizz.
just jizz it out.
Yeah,
Jizz it,
No.
man.
But you look, for sure, you learn a lot about yourself when you do those experiences. I learned a lot about myself. Learned a lot about how I interact with people. I saw negative thoughts like expressed as like this dark green and black, like
Yeah.
twisted sort of pattern. And then when my thoughts went positive, it blossomed like the most beautiful flowers you can
Whoa.
imagine. It was crazy. It was
Really?
a lesson in thinking toxically, and then and this is probably like 2008-ish, somewhere around then. That was this particular experience that literally changed who I am. Literally
Wow.
changed how I talk to people, literally changed how I feel about people.
Yeah.
Watching a negative thought being expressed as this dark pattern,
Right.
and then the positive thought, I just let it go, like, oh, I see, I'm doing it to myself, and then boom.
Right, yeah.
And then you just relax and enjoy, like, this is so beautiful. And because you're looking at something so beautiful, that feeling of seeing beauty makes it more beautiful, and it's just getting more, and like tears are rolling down my eyes. It was a stunning experience.
Dude, God, it's easier to do that now besides that, but I know what you mean.
I
Like,
wish
that's
I
the
could
th-
seeing
Yeah.
it though. I remember it happened, and I remember the dark green and black, but I remember
Yeah.
so little of what I actually saw. It's a total recreation in my mind.
Yeah.
Which is a real problem with memory. It's a real problem with regular memory. Forget about something as spectacularly unique and odd as a psychedelic experience, but just regular memory. I mean, I try to think of what I did yesterday. I know what I did.
Did you ever get information like the last time I did it? This is what really blew me away is because my girlfriend was saying I won't forget. And by the way, I forgot immediately.
It's like a
Of
joke when you
course,
think of
yeah.
a joke.
And
you-
Talk into a microphone, like talk into a recorder, like right away when you get out, and then try to decipher that.
Mostly I feel like I
Batman.
talk. I mean,
Yeah.
usually I feel like I can't talk. But
The you can though, what you should do is just use the voice app on your phone, and as soon as you can talk, hit record and just ramble. First of all, you're gonna go, "Oh my god, I'm a fucking moron," because it's
Yeah.
gonna sound. If you're sober, it's gonna sound
No, that's
so
it.
stupid.
Just like ayahuasca, it's an inner journey and battle. Like, yeah, on the inside. On the outside, you're just puking and projectile shit.
Yeah.
Gibbering like an idiot.
So I had no experience of psychedelics until I was in late 20s, and then it was pretty much had a couple mushroom experiences that I now describe as pathetic experiences, right? One's
Small doses,
So,
1
yeah,
gram, like that.
Yeah, I never even measured it. It was probably 1 gram. So I'd never had a big trip. And there was another reason. I didn't feel psychologically sturdy enough. And I came of age just when the scare stories about psychedelics were everywhere in the culture. You know, they would scramble your chromosomes. You'd stare at the sun till you'd blind. You know, the person who took all the orange sunshine and thought he was an orange for the rest of his life. You know, these stories were there. And I was afraid to. I was just afraid.
Yeah. Well, it's not an unfounded fear.
Oh, no, people can really get into psychological trouble. I think it's
Yeah.
really important that people understand that it's a profound, powerful, destabilizing experience. And depending on your mindset and the situation in which you take it, set and setting, it can be ecstatic or horrific. And you know, there are people who had a series of very good trips, and then they have that one bad trip. And so, yeah, I had heard enough stories that to stay away. So discovering this kind of later in life, you know, certainly not something I planned on or expected.
It's a great tragedy, in my opinion, that our culture has demonized these substances and put them in this category of forbidden fruit, to the point where you're so nervous about doing them. You have to get them from some shady character.
And you don't know where you're getting.
Yeah, you have to do them in secrecy. You have to be really careful. But we also at the same time are aware of all these incredibly positive benefits from them. And then if we just had professional places where we could go to, I mean, we have these rehab facilities that are available for people trying to kick opiates and people trying to get their life together. But if we had something similar, like a psychedelic facility with registered professionals who understand this and who could evaluate you psychologically, understand if you're perhaps taking medication that would adversely affect your trip, try to find out who you are, what state you're at in your life. Have you had any experiences before? Maybe you should put you on a low dose THC
Let's
edible,
ramp it up.
something small, and see how you react to it. And then I don't think people like myself or pot smokers or people who've done psychedelics, I don't think we do it any favors either, because we're always trying to pretend that there is no adverse effects and that there's people when they get into something, they want everybody to do it, and I've been guilty of this myself.
Yeah,
and
people.
push
There's a occupational hazard of irrational exuberance.
Yes.
You know, this is what happened to Timothy Leary, right? I mean,
Yes. Yeah.
people have an amazing experience, and the first thing they think is everybody do this.
Yeah.
But it isn't for everybody, and I think you're absolutely right. I think that, look. There are risks, but these are not drugs of abuse.
Right.
They're non-addictive. They're anti-addictive. The first thought after having a big psychedelic trip is not, when can I do this again?
Right.
It's whoa.
The
Yeah.
last one I had, I was like, I don't know if I could do that again.
Yeah, I felt that way every time. It's like
yeah.
childbirth, or how we hear truth is. You can't imagine doing it again, and eventually you do it again. So I do think that we have to find the proper context in which to do it, and I think your point is really important. We need trained guides. The experience is completely different when it's guided.
Yeah.
Because you have a sense of safety. There's someone looking out for your body while your mind is traveling. And this allows you to essentially surrender to the experience. And most bad trips, in my experience, are the result of people resisting what is happening. Their ego is dissolving, and it's scary. It feels like a death, and they try to stop it. And that can make you very anxious. And so all the guides I worked with and interviewed, they were all like, relax your mind and float dream. If you see a door, open it. If you see a staircase, go down it. Surrender, trust, and let go. And this kind of advice changes everything. And chances of a bad trip, I think, in a guided situation are substantially less because they know how to help you deal with it and what to tell when it's happening. So I do think that by forcing these drugs underground and this very kind of unregulated use, there were not reports of bad trips were much fewer before the moral panic about LSD in 1965, and when it was still legal. You didn't hear about bad trips. You started hearing about it when the culture did this 180 and turned psychedelic. So I think you can create situations where the risks are really mitigated.
I think also the fear, like you were talking about right before the podcast, or right as we started, some people worried that they were going to turn into an orange or think they're an orange, or all those fears. If you take something and those things are in the back of your head, and you can, literally manifest extreme anxiety that might not have been there if you just relaxed and just had the experience alone, on its own, without all the cultural hysteria attached to it.
The paranoia, that's common too. So, but a good guide work you through this, and actually, they don't even like the term bad trip, like challenging trip, because often very interesting material comes up that you then can work on later.
Yeah,
it's like having a nightmare, analyzing a shrink. It actually may be very productive. So, I was kind of a nervous Nelly going into this, and I really looked at the whole risk profile. And on the physiological side, your body, the risks are remarkably low. And I'm speaking here of the classic psychedelics. I'm not talking about MDMA or even pot. I'm talking about LSD, psilocybin, which is magic mushrooms, DMT, mescaline. They are much less toxic than many of the over-the-counter drugs you have in your medicine cabinet. There is no lethal dose, which is remarkable.
Yeah.
There was one elephant that was killed with LSD once. I wanted to see what it would take, and it was this, they gave it a massive dose, but to get it to the point they could administer it, they had to give it a massive dose of tranquilizer. So it isn't actually clear LSD killed it. It may have been the benzos or whatever they were giving it. I know, what a horrible thing, right? Go online and look up the elephant from LSD.
What a crazy idea.
Yeah.
I
Animal
wonder
cruelty.
what was going through the elephant's mind before it died.
Well, animals don't like.
I want to talk to you about psychedelics because when did you do them?
When I was 30.
When you were 30.
Well, actually, I think I was a little younger. No. Yeah. When I was 30, I started smoking pot, and then psychedelics came after that.
And did you, obviously, that was before that some people thought psychedelics were a way to, heal yourself. I feel like this is kind of like a new movement that psychedelics are the answer now.
Around the right people back then, you would get that information. Yeah.
Were you around the right people?
Yeah,
is that how you got introduced?
Yeah. I was around a lot of... because of the fact that I was a comedian, and then also because of the fact that, I was relatively famous back then, not famous, but I was on television. I had done some things, so people would want to turn you on to things. and I would go to parties or meet people, and they would, say, "Hey man, have you ever done mushrooms?" And "Hey man, have you ever heard of DMT?" And then there's a few different things that would happen, and you would be around these people who had gone to jail for it, or that were like real psychedelic heads. And once I was around a few of those, I realized, like, well, there's a whole nother world out there. And then I discovered Timothy Leary and John Lilly, and the flotation tank became a giant part of my life. And then, Terrence McKenna and Dennis McKenna and all the various psychedelic wizards that are out there that have been sort of expressing that there's a whole world out there that you're not seeing. It's like we're living life inside this very strange tent, this very thin membrane tent. And if you just unzip that tent and step out, the entire wilderness of the universe exists. But most people live their life inside this very thin-walled tent, and they think that tent sort of defines the actual universe itself, when it's so small and so limited.
Is there a chance that you open that tent and you don't what you see, and now you've fucked your whole life up? Because I think that's most people's apprehension about.
Sure.
Doing that. Like,
specifically,
can you not?
Yes. Well, Sid Barrett. There's been a lot of people that were. I have friends that know friends that. Well, the issue is with psychosis and people that have schizophrenia, people that have like legitimate mental health issues, and the argument is correlation or causation, right? And the argument is, do psychedelic drugs cause mental illness, or do a certain amount of people already have mental illness? And I think it's much more likely that the percentage of people that are schizophrenic remains static. Because if you look at it like this, the number of people who smoke marijuana who are also schizophrenic mirrors the number of people who are schizophrenic, period. So it's not that marijuana causes schizophrenia. So it's a 1 out of 100 or whatever the number is. They just have this issue. And for those people, it's critical that they avoid psychedelic drugs, that they avoid marijuana, and probably even alcohol, or maybe a bunch of other psychotropic drugs as well, because you've got an imbalance. Just like someone who has a liver disease has an imbalance, just like someone who has a lung disorder can't breathe well, someone has cystic fibrosis, or someone who has any number of diseases. You got to kind of think of it that way.
Yeah.
There's an ailment of the mind. And so if you add this unknown element to that ailment, like 5 grams of dried mushrooms, like, whoa, who the fuck knows what could happen? You might never come back. And then there's the question, the other part of your question is it possible you could open that tent and not like what you see and fuck up your life? Yes. Yes, even if you don't have schizophrenia or a mental disorder, you might have a view of the world that's untenable with the experience that you have under the influence of psychedelics. But that might mean that your view of the world is bullshit.
As a sober guy, there's part of me that wishes, because I liked mushrooms, but only like once or twice a year, because it's so fucking fun, and you get, like you said, you get all that stuff going.
Yeah.
But
I did them last week.
How was it? Did you laugh a lot? All I did was laugh.
Post Malone and I did a podcast. We did mushrooms.
Oh God.
Yeah, we had a time.
But how long were you tripping?
Well, the podcast was 4 hours long, and we were drinking too, so it was like just madness. It was all just like mushrooms. I could feel the mushrooms, and I was getting high too. He wasn't smoking pot, but we were drinking Bud Lights, and it was a lot of chaos.
This is exactly what my 80s were like. But I think about people go and do ayahuasca and do those. That really appeals to me.
That's different in that, you could call it a drug, but it's DMT, which is what ayahuasca brings up.
Right.
That's what it's the active ingredient. You're still you. You're not drunk. That's what's weird about it. Well, I don't know what it is, but if you wanted to get real woo-woo, you would call it some sort of a chemical gateway into another dimension, or to another realm that you can't access without it. It doesn't seem like a drug.
But how is it not? I got stoned and I saw crazy shit.
Well, first, endogenous, right? So your brain actually has this chemical inside of it. It's one of the more interesting things about this drug is that your body knows how to process it so well. Like if you do coke, right? Like I'm sure you're coked up for a long time, right? Your body's all fucked up for a long time. Dimethyltryptamine only lasts like 15 minutes.
What?
Yeah, your body recognizes what it is, so it brings you back to baseline very, very quickly.
So if you do this,
Yeah.
It's a 15-minute experience?
The ayahuasca takes longer because ayahuasca is an orally active version of it. So what ayahuasca is the roots of one plant and the leaves of the other. So you have DMT in one plant, and in the other plant you have something called an MAO inhibitor. MAO is monoamine oxidase, and that's produced by your gut to break down dimethyltryptamine and a bunch of other chemicals. But it breaks down dimethyltryptamine because dimethyltryptamine is in a bunch of different plants. So you could trip just eating phalaris grass if you didn't have monoamine oxidase in your gut. So when you eat this if you ate the grass, nothing would happen because your body would break it down. But if you had an MAO inhibitor, then you would trip balls.
Well, and then the other thing that people talk about with is like, I vomited for 5 hours.
Yeah, that's the problem with ayahuasca. You're going to blow your asshole out. You're going to diarrhea, throw up. It's disgusting stuff. You know,
I don't want to do that.
It's also because you're getting the plant, you're getting all the stuff that's, you know, not the active ingredient from these roots and these leaves too. And then all of a sudden your body's freaking out.
What did you have you ever said any awakening vision or
I've had a lot of visions on dimethyltryptamine. Yeah.
anything that you could once you got once you were done tripping that didn't seem like the ramblings of a man, or was there stuff that you were like, oh wow, I had a revelation?
It's hard to say. They all seem impossible to describe to anybody else other than people that have experienced it. But what it does make you realize is that how the thing that I always felt when I came back is like, how is this possible that you could go to a place like this where you could see something that's way more vivid and way more powerful than regular life? Like whatever it is, it's not like it's dull and confusing and you feel drugged and you feel less. You know, you feel more. You see more. It's more vibrant. It's more powerful. And whatever is over there seems to know you. It seems to understand. It seems to be you're communicating with something that's far more intelligent than you, far more advanced, and not hindered by all of the things that we're hindered by, like our egos and our nonsense and our insecurities and our civilization and culture. It's like it's some sort of other kind of consciousness, you know, and it's they joke about things. They make fun of you. Like one time I did it, and all these jesters, like this, like a geometric pattern of jesters, like a fractal, like infinite jesters, were giving me the finger like this, fuck you, like mocking me. And the message that I got was that I was taking myself too seriously. Like maybe even like while like my intentions going into the trip, I was taking myself too seriously. Wow. And I remember relaxing on, oh, okay. And they're like, that's right. Like they're nodding their head. Like, yes. Like it was a message. Like, hey, stupid. You know, you take yourself too seriously. Fuck you.
Fuck you. I like
and it
fuck
was
you.
Gestures, like with a hat and everything.
So in your life now,
Yeah.
like let's say you are stressing out about something as very seriously, do the fractal gestures, do you hear them and go, oh yeah, I had this
very.
But you know what I mean?
barely.
Like it, you bring something back that you can practically use in your this dimension, this time.
Humility. There's a humility that comes from real psychedelic experiences that you just because you know that they are possible, it makes you second guess the significance of regular existence. Because it seems like whatever that might be where you go when you die.
Okay, I was for the
Yeah.
I was waiting for the moment. So
I don't
here,
know if that's what it is.